at the end. You play some can you play some Avengers music in the back?
Take me home
From the files of the Bryman's Twitter account.
We are live! And I'm going to do this for the Bryman because he was just talking about this. What do you think, man? Digging it?
Yeah, oh yeah.
All right. So anyway, let's get into NFL. We have week 2, our week 2 predictions. I'll even do this over. This is kind of... That kind of sounds like when, somebody gets stabbed in Jason's movies. All right, so we have NFL week 2 predictions, previews and predictions. We're going to start off. First game of the week, and that we're going to talk about. 1 p.m., Vikings versus Packers. Who you got?
In Lambeau. Maybe you could. I don't want to have the overreaction after week 1, right? But let's be honest. Based on what we saw out of that Packers defense, I feel a little bit better about them.
Mm-hmm.
And their offense didn't really get to showcase much because they were also going against a pretty good defense in the Bears. So, hard to kind of gauge the Packers offense. But this game being at home in Lambeau, I'm all in on the Packers this game. I like them a lot. I think they're going to be able to open up the offense a little bit more against this defense than they would against a Bears defense on the road in Chicago. They're going to have their home fans behind them, fired up, ready to go. This is a big conference game. It's an important division game early in the season.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you and I both picked the Packers to win this division. I don't recall actually even what I picked. I think you did. I don't know. I actually don't remember if I did. But I do like the Packers to win this game.
That was last week. How am I supposed to know?
Yeah, right, exactly. I really think that this is the Packers' opportunity early in the season to kind of put their stamp on this division, which they've already sort of done. But I think they're going to come out firing. I think they're going to put a lot of points on the board. I think the Vikings will score too. I got the Vikings getting 3 touchdowns in this game, but I think the Packers win 32-21. I like them pretty big in this game, and I like their offense to open up a little bit more too.
All right, so
maybe even be able to run the ball a little bit with Aaron Jones there.
So you have what do you have the score?
32-21.
Packers.
Look out for there's going to be a lot of Devontae Adams, a lot of Marquez Valdez-Scantling, a lot of Geronimo Allen, a lot of Aaron Jones, a whole lot of maybe some more Jimmy Graham in there, and of course a whole lot of Aaron Rodgers.
So the only thing I'm worried about is this is what I'm thinking.
The Lambeau letdown?
No, I'm not necessarily the Lambeau letdown. I just think it's going to be closer. I think it's going to be a close game, and I think there will be something deciding at the end. The thing that deciding it at the end could just be, the Packers hold on defense, and that would be huge for them because that's something that they haven't done in years. I think that the Vikings are going to put up points. I think it's going to be closer. I think I had the same points for the Green Bay game. I had 32 for the Green Bay Packers, but I have 28 for the Vikings because I think it's going to come down to a last drive. They're not going to be able to do it with a field goal, and Cousins is going to have to make throws and get him down the field and in the end zone. And I think that the Packers defense, which is better now, is going to hold them. So I am in agreement with you that I do think that the Vikings are going to lose. I just think it's going to be a lot closer than you do. And I think it's strictly, I don't think that the defense is going to, because you have to look at it this way. And I'm actually shocked that I'm picking the Packers to score so many points because the Vikings defense is great too. I just have a feeling that this early in the year, Aaron Rodgers in his second game, after he didn't really show much to any kind of game film and how they're going to go about this year because it was like a preseason game for him. I don't know if the Vikings are going to have a great plan of attack for him. Whereas the Vikings didn't really show much with Kirk Cousins last week. They let him throw the ball 10 times. So I think that they're going to be able to throw the ball more this time too. So it's just a matter of what defense is able to make the stops at the end of the game, and I think that the Green Bay Packers are going to be able to do it this year. What do you think?
Okay.
You think that's a good call on my end? I mean, it's the same as yours, except I have them scoring more points. But did it make sense?
Sure.
Sure it did, Shane.
I think so.
Sure, why not? All right, let's get into the second game.
I'm not going to tell you that your opinion's bad.
It's just not great.
I don't think your thoughts are bad on it.
All right, so now we're going to get into the second game of the week, and that is Saints versus Rams, which is also 4:25. Make sure it's on your screen because this is bound to be a good game. This is a revenge game from last year with that questionable call, the heinous call, as some people from New Orleans and my cohort also says is an absolute heinous call from last year. And the Rams are at home. And I have a feeling the Rams are going to end up taking this one. I like the Rams at home. I don't particularly love their new style of attack. And that is a little less girly and very similar with the, play actions and stuff like that, and just kind of throwing, doing the Goff, what he excelled at last year. They have not come up with anything new, and they need to keep getting new in order to have success. Now, with that being said, it's still very early, and I think that they can pick apart the Saints defense a little bit. And I don't think that Drew Brees and his team is going to be able to keep up because the Rams have such a good passing attack on defense. So I have a feeling that Drew Brees is going to get knocked a little around. And that is one of those things that Tom Brady, when you get to him, he gets a little rattled, start making a very accurate quarterback that starts getting a little less accurate. And that is something that he needs. He needs his accuracy. He needs to make those 70% completions all over the field. And if you can knock him down to 65%, that possibly creates one or two more fourth downs. Which is great. So I'm saying that the Rams do win this game. I do think it's going to be another relatively high-scoring game. I think it's going to be 28-24, and I think it's going to be a fun game to watch. And I just think that the Saints aren't any better than they were last year. I think the Rams are just as good as they were last year. They're just not playing as well because they kind of changed their offense with doing a little less girly to keep them healthier late in the season, which is smart. But the problem is that teams are starting to catch on. After seeing what Bill Belichick did to them, they are like, all right, now we're going to implement our own ways to make sure that they can't do all these play action passes and all these, little dump outs on the corner and make Goff a little less good. So I think that that's what's going to happen. I think 28-24 Rams at home.
Okay. I'm with you on the result. I like the Rams. I know I'm not giving you any opportunities to catch me because what am I up 3-1 already?
No, is it 3? Is it 3?
I think so because the Saints pulled that one off last week, and I picked the Saints over the Texans.
I'll have to look.
And I think you had the Texans, right? Because at that point I was up 2-1. That would have evened us, but I think I went up 3-1 with that miracle finish there.
I'm gonna look. You keep going on there. I'm gonna see if I have it.
I do like the Rams in this game, and the Rams were not particularly great last week against the Panthers. They kind of eked one out on the road, but you know what? Anytime you get a road victory in the NFL, that's money. That's gold. Those are the game. You're supposed to go 6-2, 7-1 at home, and you hope to go like 500 on the road.
Yeah, I'm 1-3. You're 3-1.
Okay, so yeah, let's just if things picked up this year right where they left off last year. So I like the Rams, and I'm with you. A lot of points. I think this will be close. The Saints are coming off such a big high after last week's win, and I'll tell you what, it's a good thing they got the win because I think they'd be staring down the barrel of 0-2 here. But I do like the Rams at home. But I do believe the Rams defense concerns me a little bit. They lost Ndamukong Suh, but they gave up 27 points last week to a team in Carolina who looked putrid on offense last night. So that kind of
You can
concerns
also blame
me.
that on Cam because he's just inconsistent.
No, I know, but Cam was also not good last week, and that team still put up 27 points.
I think that that's where you're going to get the points. I think Kamara is going to go bananas, like McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Did.
Oh no.
Yeah. So if you have Kamara,
whatever the over is in this game, I don't even know what it is, but I'm sure I'm going over it because I've got a final score of 35-30 Rams. I got some points being scored in this game. I just don't see on either side either defense's ability to really shut down and hold down superior offenses like this. Both teams gave you evidence last week that their defenses are bend, don't break at best. The Rams simply were able to outscore Carolina, and the Saints, they won.
52 points, the over-under.
Yeah, okay, so I'm going way over. But the Saints gave up how many points last week?
That's
to?
That's funny because I picked exactly 52 points, 28-24.
Actually, these were very similar scoring games. The Saints won 30-28 over the Texans last week, and the Rams won 30-27 over the Panthers. So, right there, you got a recipe for two teams who are going to give up points. I guess I just like the Rams being at home. If this game was in New Orleans, I'd probably pick Breeze and Kamara and the Saints, but I like the Rams at home. I think it's just going to be just a scoring barrage, and I just don't see how either of these defenses are really going to shut the other team down. So pick the over and take the Rams.
Got it. Like it. Love it. Want it. Bought it. I don't know. Whatever that Ariana Grande song is. All right. So now we are going to do Philadelphia versus the Falcons. The Eagles versus the Falcons. Who you got?
So this is I know it's not our game of the week, but
no, it's going to be good.
It could have been a game of the week, though. In Atlanta, big game. Falcons lost last week. Did they not?
Oh, yeah. They started off horrible.
If they lost, horrible. Well, I've got bad news for you, Falcons fans. The losing is going to continue. I got the Eagles in this game. I like the Eagles on the road. Sunday Night Football. I like Carson Wentz coming into that building after, listen, the Eagles beat what I believe is going to be a very, very bad Redskins team. But let's also keep in mind that Eagles team was down 17-0 last week, and they stormed right back. They stormed right back on them and did what a good team would do. And they put up a lot of points in the process. I think it was like 32-27. So, I mean, it was a close game. But then they actually also got ahead and, pulled ahead. I think they were up 32-20 at one point. So they not only got the 17, but they had two scores on them before the, Redskins got, a late touchdown. But I'll tell you what, man, the way the Falcons played last week, again, look, it's the week one overreaction, right? It's the only thing that we have from our eye test is 4 quarters of football right now, which is completely unfair to any of these teams, that we're picking against. But let's be honest, the Falcons no-showed in Minnesota last week. I mean, they were on the flight, their bodies were physically there, but the light was not on. I mean, they were just hapless against the Vikings. And I know the Vikings are a good team, and I know the Vikings are a good team at home too, but your offense should have been able to put up some points. They've got weapons on that team. They should have been, between Julio Jones and Ridley and Freeman and Hooper, they should have been able to move the ball a little. And I just, you know what? I feel right now they're facing an even better team, and a team that you and I have both picked, I think, to go to the Super Bowl, if I'm not mistaken. So yes, this is home. It's your home opener, but you've got an even better defense coming into town. And just in general, I believe a better team, and a team that I think worked out some of the kinks and shook off some of the rust last week against Washington. And I think they're going to come in all cylinders firing in Atlanta. And I think they're going to put maybe a little bit of a whooping on them. I think it's going to be 31-20. 31-20. Eagles.
Wow.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Okay. I am not in the same boat with you. I am similar, but not the same. Very similar, actually, but just
Is the results the
the
same?
result's the same. Yes.
So
but I have
you will gain
I have
no
more
ground
I have more
for this.
yes I have more points being scored because I just feel like
Okay.
if the Redskins can put
I got
up
a lot of
if
points.
the
They're
Redskins
good.
can put 20 something points up on you, then the Falcons, who are a high powered offense, are going to put some up on you. But I don't think that the Falcons offense is as good as they were last year. I do think the defense is a little bit better, but I do think that the Philadelphia Eagles overall team, defense, offense, is just far superior. I do expect them to come out, and they got off to a late start. They started playing very well in the second half, and I think that the second half is going to be what you're going to see with the Philadelphia Eagles for the rest of the year. I think that that's really what's going to kind of happen here, and it'll be great. It'll be absolutely great if they can get themselves a top tier running back like a Melvin Gordon. Come on, pick up Melvin Gordon, and then they will. So if they get Melvin Gordon, my Super Bowl picks will change. Go from where they were to what was it, Rams Chiefs, to it'll go to the Philadelphia Eagles versus the
Rams
Patriots
Chiefs.
probably, or maybe the Chiefs, depending on what this whole thing happens with Antonio Brown. But right now I have the Philadelphia Eagles winning 35-28. I have it being a very high scoring game. The over-under is a 52.5. The Eagles are, I think, a 2-point favorite.
Well, that's another game where I would take the over.
Yeah. So they are a 2-point favorite. So it's I mean, you have it at 51 points. So
I do. You're right, actually. Yeah.
So it makes it a little more difficult. I mean, I think that your scoring is probably pretty close.
I'm on the.
But I do expect a lot of scoring here, just because I expect. I don't love the Falcons defense, even though they're better. I expect them to shore it up as the season goes on, kind of like they did last year. And I do think that the Philadelphia Eagles, they will give up points. But I just think that they're just, when it comes down to it, Carson Wentz is better than Matt Ryan, and their overall team is better. Although I do think that the Falcons have a better running back. I just don't think that they're gonna. I don't think it's going to happen this week for the Falcons. Not at home. All right, so I have 35-28. You have 31-20, and that is for this week in the NFL with Shane and the Brad Man. All right, so there's something wrong with our feed.
I noticed.
It's not working.
Yes, I noticed that.
I don't know why. I don't know what's going on with it. So that's why nobody's there, because there's something wrong with our feed. I don't know what's going on with it.
Talking only to each other.
Mm-hmm. For real. But not really. I mean, it'll get thrown up on YouTube. So anyway, we'll go real quick. You want to go into your, I guess you can call it your
Swords.
Because it's your greatest tweet of all time.
Yes, as obviously a couple days ago, we unfortunately remembered 9/11, the most tragic event in U.S. history.
Mm-hmm.
And it was interesting. I I don't know about you. I mean, every year on 9/11, I have kind of what I refer to as just my moment where I completely break down and cry, and just because there's just no. It's happened every year since. I actually hope it does continue to happen every year after, because you want to make sure that you hold on to that emotion in some way, shape, or form, some capacity.
Yeah.
And I feel like the day when I don't cry about it will be the day that maybe I've lost a little bit of myself. So on 9/11, I don't know if you know the Navy SEAL 6 serviceman who killed Osama bin Laden. His name is Robert J. O'Neill. He was the actual guy who put the 2 bullets in that SOB's head. Mm-hmm. And he actually had, I didn't even know he was actually on Twitter. But he tweeted on 9/11. It was a very it was a very quick tweet. Turn that down. I can't even hear myself.
It's not that loud. It's not that loud overall. It's just loud in your ears.
It's really loud. It's making me feel like I need to talk even louder.
Go ahead.
He tweeted, Osama bin Laden died scared shitless, hiding behind his wife. And
Yeah.
When it comes from the guy who put the double tap in that dude's head, it officially becomes the greatest tweet of all time. Because I'll tell you, sorry Twitter world, sorry internet, you'll never beat that tweet. Never. It's not a beatable tweet. It's the greatest tweet ever.
It is. I mean, I guess I can see how it's very patriotic. It's one of those things that like it's not shocking to me. Like that's why it's like I think about it. I'm
of course
like,
not.
He was a terrified guy. Like that's why he was hiding behind somebody
of course.
else. Like because he was constantly bouncing from cave to cave.
I love the visual of that. I love the visual of him cowering behind his wife before that guy blew his head apart.
Yeah,
that makes me happy. It just does. If you know me at all, if you've ever text messaged with me, because I love to do things like favorite things that I have and things that like I hate the most. And every time I do a thing I hate the most, or like I hate this, like there was I don't even remember what it was. I think it was in reference to the Dolphins. Oh, I know what it was. Our friend of the show, Tim Callahan, after the Dolphins traded Tunsil, and it was clear, very clear. It was just painfully clear that they were going into tank mode. He was like, he sent me and he sent my friend Timmy Tim, because Timmy Tim and I are both Dolphin fans. He's like, so how are you guys feeling about this? And I said, I don't remember exactly what my reply was, but it was something to this extent. The two things I hate the most in this life: one, Osama bin Laden; two, the Miami Dolphins. But like every time I do a text like that, where I'm naming something I hate the most, it's always bin Laden at the top. Always. It always has been. It's kind of understandable, right?
Well, I mean, I can see why a lot of people would hate him.
It's kind of the worst person. Kind of like the worst person ever, like him and Hitler, pretty much like the worst people ever to live.
They're not great.
I mean,
Stalin wasn't great, no?
Stalin is probably up there too. Yeah. I don't know. Boy, should we do a Mount Rushmore of worst people ever?
No. I do not want to go down that road.
It's a Mount Lessmore. I don't even know what it is. A Mount Worstmore?
I don't want to encase their faces in stone.
Yeah.
All right. That's pretty much it for our show today.
Those two. Would you like a very, very quick recap of the movie It, Chapter 2?
Oh, yes. But first, I want to tell you real quick. If you are into working out, if you like to work out, if you like to work out on an elliptical or a treadmill,
like to pick things up and put them down.
But not even that, because if you're picking up, putting them down, a lot of people will like follow an instructor.
You can hurt back.
You need to like, if you're looking to like keep yourself motivated and go fast, going really, really hard, you're going to want to watch John Wick 3, because I started watching that movie on the elliptical yesterday, and I was going to do like almost an hour worth of elliptical, and I get on the elliptical and I just plan on starting nice and slow, and I look down halfway through like the first like opening scene that's pretty long and pretty energetic and just crazy, like go leaves off right at the last film, just bananas, right? I found myself like going like 3 times as fast as I normally would. I'm like going on the elliptical, going bananas, because I'm like, holy cow, what's going on? Yeah, it is absolutely movie. Insane. You want to get a good workout? Did you like it? Do it to that. I did. I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was like. I still think the first one's the best, but the third one, it was really just that. This one was just complete go, like the whole thing, and I did like how they left it off.
Well, it's clear that there's going to be.
There's going to be another one. Oh yeah, they might do another trilogy. I mean, who knows where they're going to go? I mean,
they make a ton of money.
Keanu
likes doing it.
He said he's going to come back for as long as the people want him.
He's great.
He's awesome. He went from
we did a Mount Rushmore of best people around. He might be on it. He's a great guy. I mean, the stories you hear about that guy.
He's a good.
Forget his acting. Forget the movies.
And Halle Berry was good in it too.
She actually was, and I don't like her that much, but she was good.
I do. I like her, but the way that she performed in this was perfect. I really enjoyed that. Just all of the characters, really, except for the main bad guy. He let me down a little bit. Iron Chef America flip guy. Yeah, he let me down a little bit. You know, I liked him in Hawaii Five-0 as a bad guy. In this, although he was kind of funny. He was funny though. Some of the comments he had were kind of funny. All right, go ahead.
Go ahead. Actually got me a little bit. You got me a little bit excited there at the beginning of that segment because I thought you were actually going to say it sounded like an advertisement. You're like, if you really want to get a good workout, I'm like, oh, wait a minute, did we get a sponsorship with Peloton or something? Because this is sounding good. And then you're like, and then it's a John Wick workout. I'm like,
hey, Peloton wants to send me a bike. I will gladly,
totally
advertise for them forever.
So, anyways, on Wednesday night, I went with a few friends to go see It Chapter 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if you
this music kind of sounds like a horror film a little bit. You can see this going in the background.
This doesn't sound like
a little bit in the background. It's a little got too much thump to it, but that.
No. This is aliens getting off the ship and dancing. That's all.
Aliens are in a lot of horror films.
This is aliens getting off the ship and doing like Fortnite dances. That's what this is. This is like an alien doing the floss, or whatever that other one is that like my daughter does, where it's like. I don't even know. She does it, and I'm like, "What are you doing? Are you spazzing? Are you okay?" Yeah, whatever that is. But she does it like really fast. She does it really fast. Yeah. And she does the floss like I'm like, it's like blurry. Anyways, so look, if you are, if you ever read books or if you are familiar with even the made-for-TV It special, you knew there were some things that were going to show up in this movie that you might not have loved. Case in point being, Pennywise the spider. Look, it's part of it is what it is, right? It's part of the book.
It showed up again?
So, yes. But, you know what? And there were... I'm not going to say, I won't get into like specifics, but there was also a scene where like the losers first get back together in Derry and they're at a Chinese restaurant. Mm-hmm. And let's just call it the fortune cookie scene. Okay? Mm-hmm. We'll call it the fortune cookie scene. I would have completely, even if that was in the book, which I frankly do not recall, even if that scene was in the book, I would have gotten rid of it. It was just weird. It just got stupid. But overall, I did enjoy this movie. It was long. It was almost 3 hours. I would give this, I will go...
3 hours?
Was it close to 3 hours? I will go 6.5 out of 10.
You'll never catch me seeing that movie.
I'll go 6.5 out of 10. Nowhere near as good as Chapter 1. I mean, not even like close.
Well, that's the same thing with the TV movie that came out a long time ago. The Chapter 1 was amazing, and then I watched the Chapter 2, and it turned into a joke.
A nice, an interesting little cameo by Stephen King, who actually ends up being an antique store owner in Derry. And he's kind of a surly prick. Actually, I pretty much think he played himself, which is why he did a pretty good job with the role. It was okay. This movie was good, not great by any stretch. I don't think I would care to even see it again, whereas Chapter 1, I could watch multiple times and really enjoy. The other thing, too, is... like when Pennywise manifests itself in other forms beyond just the clown, like the clown is great. The whole with the makeup and scary looking. I think the clown is fantastic. But when it's manifested in other forms, it gets really weird. Like some of these things just look really weird. Yeah. These monsters, they just. I don't know. And they don't work for me. Like I feel like they could have done a better job with that. But, listen, it was a weird book written by a weird guy. And you know what? This movie's going to make a lot of money just like the first one did. And if you like it, if you like the book, you should go see it. I mean, it's closure. You should definitely go see it. But I would only give this 6.5 out of 10. Not great. I don't know that I'd care to even watch it again, to be perfectly honest with you. So 6.5 out of 10. Not bad, but,
All right,
keep your expectations.
I don't even know if that just the sound of almost a 3 hour movie like that, with that second half. I would just that. I mean, the ceiling for me is a 5.
It was 149 minutes, if I'm not.
That's a long one. All right, thank you guys for watching, listening, however you took this in. We will see you again on Monday while we do our Monday Night Football predictions and talk about what we learned from last week. All that kind of fun stuff. Thank you. We'll see you guys Monday. Peace out. We'll see you. Subscribe, notifications. I'm talking over you. Haha.
To quote the great Tony Stark, part of the journey is the end. We will see you next Monday. Enjoy week 2 of the National Football League.
And I am Shane. You can find me on Twitter at @einhornsfinkel.
But I'm the Brian Man. You can find me on Twitter at _Brian_Man.
And of course, you can find the show Facebook.com/ShaneandtheBrianMan or Twitter @ShaneandBrianMan. Peace
Stay
out.
classy.
Peace.
Panda Club. Can we get any money to play us out?
Oh man, you're such a
Sorry, I should have.
You're such a diva.
Sorry, I should have just. I didn't think that through. I should have. I should have mentioned it.
You're the worst.
Perfect choice.
All right. Bye.
Couldn't have picked a better one. Rest in peace, Eddie Money, man.